When I was 2 years old, I have known my father is an engineer and he is very busy. Because of his work, he always works in different cities. Sometimes I can see him 2 or 3 times half a year.
He has his own team, they work together and all are good friends. Even he didn't have work, he more like going out with his partner rather than play with me.
In China, most family structure is father supporting the economic responsibility and mother taking care of the children. My parents think it was a normal situation and my father worked very hard in order to create a better environment for me. But they understand me. They didn't know what I really want.
Fortunately, my grandmother received my moods and the peculiar experience of my grandmother involved he to understand the feeling of losing father's love. In the childhood, my grandmother, his father left China to Burma for earning money.
Time goes on. My great-grandfather lived in Burma for 40 years and never went back to China during that time. He had his new family and new daughter.
The reason cause he going back hometown is that of my great-grandmother. When my grandmother see her father, he forgives the man. Simultaneously, he realized that he wants to gain father's love.
My grandmother didn't want me to grow up without father's love, so she told her experience to my father, told how important father's love is, and hoped my father can pay more attention for me.
Thanks for my grandmother, my life was filled. My father began to spend time for me and stay home much more time. We're always eating dinner together and have family travels.
Now I have a close and deep relationship with my father, and he gives me much positive influence for my growing up. Okay. When I was young, I gained love from my mother, was taken care of by my grandmother, I wore beautiful clothes from my aunts, and played with my cousin.
However, an important role of my life always absent in my childhood. He's my father. I even can't see him in my birthday party. I'm unhappy.
When I was 2 years old, I have known my father is an engineer and he was very busy. Because of his work, he always worked in different cities. Sometimes I can just see him 2 or 3 times half a year.
He has his own team. They work together and all are good friends. Even he didn't have to work, he more like going out with his partners rather than playing with me.
In China, most family structure is the father supporting the economic responsibility and the mother taking care of the children. My parents thought it was a normal situation and my father worked very hard in order to create a better environment for me, but they didn't understand me. They didn't know what I really wanted.
Fortunately, my grandmother perceived my mood, and the peculiar experience of my grandmother enabled her to understand the feeling of lost father's love. In the childhood of my grandmother, her father left China to Burma for earning money.
Time goes on. My great-grandmother lived in Burma for 40 years and never went back to China during this time. He had his new family and new daughters.
The reason cause he going back hometown is death of my great-grandmother. When my grandmother saw her father, she forgave that man. Simultaneously, she realized that she wanted to gain father's love wishfully.
My grandmother didn't want me to grow up without a father's love. She told her experiences to my father, told how important father's love is, and hoped my father could pay more attention to me.
Thanks to my grandmother, my life was full. My father began to spend time for me and stay home much more time. We always eating dinner together and have family travels.
Now I have a close and deep relationship with my father. He gives me much positive influence for my growing up.